Good evening. Hi, it's Dr. Radialis from the Georgia office. Um, so I hope that the week is going favorable for all of you. I had some beautiful people share their love with me today. We had a few victories after reaching the final goal of getting pregnant and going on to regular obstetrical care. So um, we're all in this together. Gratitude and love are the highest vibrational emotions that you can have. And give me a second. All right, sorry about that. And we should share the joy of others, understanding that it'll be our turn very soon. We live in a universe full of love and compassion. So, your fertility journey, as hard as it might seem at times, is not a punishment. It is a process that some believe that you chose before you were born. And at the end, perseverance is usually remunerated with victory. Okay? So, today, I'm going to talk about my beautiful 40 plus crowd and what to do about supplements and other things to improve not only overall health and youthful living, but also fertility, because it's all together, right? If you are able to create an anti aging, or I don't like to use that term so much, regenerative or rejuvenating environment in your body, not only you're going to get rid of your wrinkles, but you're going to improve your ovarian reserve. Some of you have heard me speak about the tissue that encompasses the ovaries and the testicles for my 40 plus fabulous boys out there. It's the same as your skin. So, all of the modalities and all of the things that you would do to improve your skin could be applied in some way to the ovaries, the lining of the uterus, and the testicles. All right. And then it's a positive, instead of a vicious cycle, it's a good cycle because you improve the functionality of the organ, and not only it improves the fertility side, but then your hormone panels are better. Then now we're dealing with mood, sexuality, sexual sensations, performance, etc., etc. Everything just goes up. So first of all, diet, right? We are what we eat. You've heard Dr. Gills talk about diet for years. Even though I'm not a carnivore, I will agree with Dr. Kills that we want to be, as much as we want, off the grains, of the nightshades, and on a more low carb diet. It's very important for you to make it your own, right? It's about a lifestyle, not a fat diet. So make changes that will eventually improve your overall health. Choose the water and or the sparkling water over the soda. I'd rather you have potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots than you have pasta. Less processed is better. If you're going to have milk, I prefer you get raw milk, even though it might not be easily available to some of you. If you're going to get milk fat or butter, make it organic, grass fed, just as much as you can, go back to nature and clean your diet, understanding that we have our likes and dislikes and we live in a society, right? So I like to say that we should practice the 80-20. 80% of the time you're an angel, 20% not so much. Okay. So if you do that, you're going to tilt the balance towards wellness, and then it all pays back. Not only you're going to sleep better, feel better, but your ovaries, your testicles will be working better. Okay. Your endocrine system. You have to understand we are all a huge community of trillions of cells. So it is by improving the overall functionality of the community that eventually the individuals benefit as well. So when you improve your diet, now you're improving liver health, kidney health. Now you're improving overall endocrine health, the pancreas health. And all of that, it's linked together. And if you subdivide it, let's just think about the endocrine system. Some of you have, had a consult with me and I talk about the female endocrine pack. And they're like, what is that? Well, I want to support all the glands that are part of the endocrine system, because ultimately it's in that unison, it's in that collaboration that not only the ovaries will work better, but everything else. The ovaries are part of one entire system. So you want to support the hypothalamus, you want to support the thyroid, you want to support the pituitary, the adrenal gland, the ovaries, the pancreas. Okay? People forget the pancreas is part of the endocrine system. So if you're sugaring up and you're pre-diabetic and that insulin is out of control, it's going to affect the way your ovaries work. Okay? You see how the diet plays a role in your fertility journey? People forget that indirectly the liver is part of the endocrine system. How? Because it works with the pancreas to manage glucose. It works with to manage fat, especially triglycerides. Triglycerides go up when your sugar levels go up. All right, that's the relationship. Excess sugar is converted to triglycerides, and the liver processes your hormones. So if you are not loving your liver enough, then you're going to have the ratios in your bloodstream wrong. And then, so sometimes I see in my holistic clinic somebody that is, not doing so well overall. We clean the liver and boom, the endocrine system get back on check. So we're this huge community and we have to care for the community. So the diet, sleep patterns, drinking patterns, toxicity patterns, before we can address any fertility treatment. And sometimes, and I see it a lot, you fix that and you don't even need us. Like, boom, you're pregnant. Sometimes you just need a little tilt and then things happen. Sometimes I put people on supplements. I cleaned their diet, and next thing you know, as we're doing the workup, boom, they're pregnant. So even with low AMHs, all righty? So going back to the more specific supplements, because people ask me all the time, I see most of my patients are more than 40 years old and AMH is less than 1. What else can I do? And yes, I'm going to focus today on what can you do on your own without a doctor's prescription. So I talked about the diet, sleep 7 to 9 hours a day, exercise in moderation, okay, especially high intensity interval training 3 to 4 times a week, short, 20, 30 minutes, all right? Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. Excess exercise is seen as the body as stress, and that's not what we want. Okay, we want maintenance. Okay, so you want to coast with your exercise routine. Let's talk about CoQ10. Okay, in the circles, that's very well known. So CoQ10 is a cofactor that helps the mitochondria work better. So the energy power plant of your cells needs a lot of CoQ10. So you can imagine that if you feed the energy plant, then the whole cell works better, and then the organ, the ovary, testicle works better. Also, CoQ10 is associated with increased motility. So if we're dealing with a boy that the little swimmers are a little lazy, you feed them up with CoQ10 and it might be a big boom. Vitamin D is very important for ovulation and progesterone production. Okay, it is, and of course you have to imagine testicles are male's ovaries, so a lot of the same things will apply for both sexes. Okay, what else? Vitamin E. All right, vitamin E, it's an antioxidant and it is associated with improved DNA division, cell division, causing less DNA problems. All right, so older women should be on a good source of vitamin E, food-based. Make sure that when you read labels, there's multiple vitamin E. So it's alpha tocopherol, delta, there's 4 of them, beta, can't remember, maybe always beta or whatever. But if it's like food based and for example, I like Garden of Life. I like Ancestral Supplements, Standard Process, Nutritional Frontier. There's a lot of good companies out there that will do this for you. And if it's not necessarily, because sometimes they pull out synthetics, they'll put it in a food-based buffer and then provide all the other cofactors that the vitamin E complex needs to work in your body, or your body be able to utilize the vitamin E complex. Okay. Omega-3. Our diets are very high in omega-6 and 9. So that's the reason that we want to do omega-3. All of our the lining of our cells, the cell wall, is fat mediated, and the omega-3 makes it be malleable. Okay. Malleable cells last longer. Okay. What was the other one I wanted to talk about? Oh, yeah. You've heard me before about talking about DHEA. It is not a supplement. It is a hormone. It is a type of testosterone created by the adrenal gland. So, and it is a hormone precursor to other hormones. And I know that there's books out there that say it's the greatest thing on earth. It is if you're deficient, right? So I would just suggest that if you want to try it, just get a lab test, make sure that it's not going to be detrimental. And next thing you know, you're going to have hair loss and a beard, or hair in the wrong place. Okay. Let's see. What else? Stuff that, oh yeah. If you are suspecting an immune issue, and endometriosis is an immune issue, okay? You want to have immune modulating supplements. One of my favorites is Reishi Mushroom. And you have to be careful with herbs, okay? I usually tell people no herbs during IVF or fertility treatment, but reishi is an herb that you can take and it will not mess up the hormone portion of things. Some of the other herbs out there that are usually recommended will interfere in how the IVF meds work, so you want to be careful. Okay. Yes, glandular therapy. I'm huge about glandular therapy. I can talk about it forever. Eat liver. And if you're not going to eat liver, take liver pills. There's certain companies out there that will have, different ones. I mean, even placental pills, ovary pills, pituitary pills, thyroid pills, combined. And what does that do? One, the nutrients that gland needs will be in the substitution gland. It's like having one Ford, right? A car, and you have the other one. So it's going to have the pieces that you need, right? The parts. Same thing. So if you eat heart, and this is kind of Chinese medicine, if you eat heart, you're helping the heart. If you eat ovary, you're helping the ovary. And of course, I'm not expecting you to eat any of these things, but they do come in pill form. So those are some of the supplements that you could use and that you can get. You can get them if let's say you're just starting this process, get a good food-based prenatal, vitamin D, a good omega-3, okay? You pay with oils, you get what you pay for, and glandular therapy, and you're pretty much set starting, and CoQ10 and vitamin E. And you're pretty good in your journey, okay? So let's see if you have any questions. Today was the first day I tried to run a quarter lap around my house with my puppy. Okay. How do I help my clients detox their pancreas and support their liver function? Okay, so one, intermittent fasting. It's absolutely fantastic for the pancreas and the liver. Unfortunately, because of the type of diets that we have, they're congested. It's almost like they're stuffed up. Okay, so you want to give your body a break to be able to clean up. Saunas, infrared saunas are really good for detoxing. There's certain herbs that will help detox the liver, and something very, very simple. beet juice with cruciferous greens. You can do juicing in the morning to start very gentle. Okay, celery, parsley for the liver, um, broccoli, kale, spinach. Those greens help deliver the step 1 and step 2 detoxification process. And if then you want to add some herbs, because you have to be careful when you start forcing your organs to detox. I like to do intermittent fasting, then do some of those juices that I'm saying. They come in pill form too. And then you can add some herbs to do detox, like burdock and dandelion root, stuff like that. The pancreas will greatly appreciate to get off sugars. That's all you need for the pancreas, and it'll do so much better. Inflammation will go down tremendously. If you do the intermittent fasting and the juicing that I'm saying, no sugar added, and the herbs, I'm sorry, you clean the liver first, and then the pancreas follows, because the liver is the one that will clear the excess hormones, the excess insulin, the excess glucose. Okay. So, I'm sorry. Oh, so supplements for FET. All the supplements that I mentioned are fantastic for the FET. I also add uterine support. There's uterine gland supplements, and then PRP. If there's any question, let's say you have multiple failed FETs, you want to check for infection or any other inflammation, But if it's your first one and you had no issues, I would start with the supplements I described and uterine support, and then PRP. I'm a PRP sucker, which brings me to the next thing. So the stem cell project, I'm very excited. I'm always trying to find out new ways to help this community. And so I've been looking into beyond the PRP. What's beyond the PRP? For those of you who don't understand what PRP is, it's your own healing proteins, okay? So we extract it from your blood. It's your own signals, all right, that we concentrate and put in different parts of your body. And what it does, it causes your body to send your own stem cells to that area to cause healing to that area. However, PRP is not really alive. It's just the signal, it's the beacon, right, for your body to do it. And there's debate about if you're having low reserve, then your PRP is going to have your age, and it's going to have potential the same deficiencies that cause the problem. So, I've noticed that everybody improves with PRP. It's a matter of whether it's a little bit or a lot, okay? And I think that that's related to your overall health. However, I do find that with certain patients, I hit a ceiling with a PRP. And the only way to break that ceiling is to bring something outside of you, younger and healthier, and that is done with stem cells. Even though they can't pull out your stem cells, the data shows that using placental stem cells or Wharton jelly stem cells, it's far superior without creating an autoimmune reaction. And the stem cells apply to the patient, they're alive. So, and if you combine it with your natural beacon, then you're going to stimulate even a bigger response. The data out there is fantastic. It is very limited, the use in the United States, but I think that eventually it's going to, as more and more information comes out, and safety guidelines and all that stuff, they will become more readily available. So I am going on an adventure. I'll keep you all posted to get an IV infusion of stem cells with a few very brave volunteers and family members that have certain problems like back pain. We have a kid with cerebral palsy is going to go with us, and I'll keep you posted. I will give you a report when I'm back. If natural, try month. Thoughts on adding progesterone and Lovenox. Progesterone, absolutely. That's part of the workup. In more old-fashioned way was to check whether you could not get pregnant because of a luteophase deficiency. So it used to be when I was in school and residency, that we would get people to do a day 21 progesterone. That is not done as much anymore, but that is going to let us know what if your issue is just giving you progesterone in the luteal phase. Lovenox, even though there's some data saying that Lovenox might be some sort of anti-inflammatory, you want to be careful with it. But if nothing else works, then absolutely. When I do sometimes, doing at home, I might do oral letrozole and then progesterone supplementation day 21 and beyond, baby aspirin. So you might want to start with baby aspirin, especially if you're not going to be followed too closely. Can I expand a little bit more about herbs and endometriosis? Yes, there's a lot of herbs that are anti-inflammatory and that can be used. Endometriosis, it's a immune problem, okay? It's an immune deficient problem and an inflammatory process, okay? It is believed that endometriosis is a deficiency of your own natural killer cells. Natural killer cells are the ones responsible to go and clean up the cells that are in the wrong place. So people with endometriosis, there's a subgroup of natural killer cells that are a little deficient, because in theory, just like everybody has cancer at one point of our lives, every woman has potential endometriosis because there is some level of retrograde menstruation every month for most women. But some women develop the endometriosis and some not. So it is an immune issue. So how do you fix that? Well, you want to improve your immune response. So for example, you can do turmeric. Turmeric is kind of a overall anti-inflammatory. Boswellia, it's another overall anti-inflammatory in terms of herbs. And then I would hit it off with the immunoregulators. Like I said, my personal favorite is Reishi Mushroom. It's the Asian mushroom. So Reishi, Maitake, Shiitake. Because it'll help your immune system level out. So when I'm dealing with endometriosis patients, I deal with the immune system. I try to level it out. I try to support with those herbs that I said. If I'm doing IVF, I kind of don't really use herbs, but then I go into gland therapy and support the the immune system that way, the spleen, and so forth, the thymus. Spleen and thymus is mostly what I support for endometriosis during IVF. Okay. Okay, just ovulated Saturday. Take oral progesterone. I prefer vaginal because it's going to act better where you need it. And I mean, you can take oral progesterone if you don't really want the vaginal, but I prefer doing vaginal twice a day and baby aspirin. Okay. Okay. Very good. All righty. Okay. So to sum up our little discussion today, there are things that you can do during your fertility journey without necessarily needing a doctor. Diet, sleep habits in general, improve your overall health, and get on a good prenatal, CoQ10, vitamin D, a good vitamin E, omega-3, and some glandular therapy. And then if that doesn't work, oh yeah, if you're having ovulation issues, you can get on Vitex or chasteberry, which is an herb that helps with ovulation and progesterone production naturally. And if you're dealing with an inflammatory process, you can add to all of that, you can add some of the anti-inflammation and immunoregulating herbs that I discussed. So I hope this is helpful for some of you out there, and may you all be blessed. Bye-bye.